Start the open mic with Donnna, Dechen, Birdwell.
Yay, Donnna!
Okay.
And just remind people, I am going to be timing after I take your picture, 5 minutes.
Okay. I'll do my best here. This one actually has a title. It's called Field Work, Maiden Voyage. The first field work I undertook as a novice anthropologist, still in graduate school, was in northern Belize, Central America. It was the 1970s, and solo field work was still a sort of rite of passage for a cultural anthropologist. We had to prove we had what it took to survive on our own in a foreign culture. So my faculty advisor took me to a village he visited once, maybe twice. He helped me find a place to stay, and he left in a fishing boat. There were no roads connecting the village to anywhere else in Belize.
Wow.
There was no telephone, no electricity, no running water. Now, there is a truism among cultural anthropologists that the people most willing to reach out and help a stranger are the ones you least want to get involved with. They are invariably marginal, eager to capitalize on what it is you have to offer, but not meaningfully linked in to the local community. So of course, the family my dear advisor settled me with was not where I needed to be. So I left for a week and came back and moved into a small house at the edge of the village, which I rented from one of the patriarchs of the community. Much better. Or so I thought.
Oh.
I soon realized that I was now perceived as belonging to this particular family. And I discovered that the village was deeply divided into factions. These factions centered on particular family clusters, but also drew their power from associations with the two main political parties. The People's United Party, PUP, and the United Democratic Party, UDP. I was, through no fault of my own, PUP. Viva Azul. I returned to the village every summer during my graduate studies, and as my work progressed, I gradually gained the trust of the members of the opposite faction. But in my final season, before undertaking to write up my dissertation, I decided to capitalize on my political associations. The PUP was in power at the time, and based in part on my family connections, I secured an appointment with our patron. He had risen beyond representing the Northern District in the legislature and was now serving as the Belizean Minister of Agriculture. I was pretty pleased with myself and had a whole list of carefully thought out questions about land tenure, agricultural modernization, marketing arrangements, and so on. But when I arrived at the minister's office in the capital city of Belmopan, he told me he had some business to take care of in the countryside. Would I care to come along? I was delighted. Not only would I get to talk to him, I'd get to observe him in action. But first, he said, let's have some lunch. We went to a nearby restaurant, and he ordered lunch, along with a beer for each of us. And then another beer, and another. I was barely sipping on mine at this point. I was glad he had a driver for the government car, but that also meant that it was just the two of us in the back seat. We rode around the countryside, and he showed me a few of his proudest agricultural achievements. And then we stopped for a beer. I told him I needed to get back to Belize City. We got back in the car, and his hands began to wander. I know you're an anthropologist, he said, and I am just a little minister. His hands were inside my blouse, under my skirt. Wouldn't I like to own some land in Belize, he asked. I could give you a nice piece of land. Would you like that? I was frightened, angry, but I recall also feeling as if I didn't wish to offend him. I kept refusing his advances, and finally he delivered me back to the bus that would take me to Belize City. I was embarrassed, discouraged, a little drunk, relieved to be on my own again. I learned far more than I wanted to that day about the politics of Belize and about patriarchy and privilege. It was more than 30 years before I ever told my friends in the village about this encounter. Were they surprised? Not really. Did it change their views of their beloved patron? Not a bit. You should have taken the land, one of them said. In the current political climate, I've had occasion to reflect on this episode yet again. And I find myself wondering how it would have played out under somewhat different circumstances. Despite his protestations about being just a little minister, this patron clearly believed that his position ought to accord him certain privileges. But he was at least a little intimidated by the fact that I was an educated woman. An educated white woman from America. What if I had been an uneducated, brown, Belizean woman? Would he have taken me back to the bus station just because I demanded it? For the record, I have never owned land in Belize.
Yay!
Next up, Stephanie Johnson.
All right.
It is so great to be here today. Since our last meeting, I thought about what I would talk about, and I thought about it, and then I thought about it some more. And then finally last night I decided, okay, I'm going to put something together. So this is what I put together for today. I've taken a suggestion by Birdman. He's been talking to me the last couple of meetings of coming up with a little book to jot down every time I come up with something. So I started this. I got a couple that I've started, haven't gotten very far. And as I've just been sitting here, I've come up with some other ideas. I really love coming here. But why have I not finished my poems? Well, I've been too damn busy. This morning I led the church service at Faith Presbyterian. And for several months now, I've been involved in several of my own personal projects. I met Teresa about a year ago, as she said earlier, for the Vagina Monologues. For months now, I've been rehearsing. The play is coming up. It's going to be next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 17th, 18th, and 19th, and I'm going to butcher it. The Daughtery Art Center.
Oh, name it. There we go.
Okay. And all the proceeds from this goes to Safe Place to benefit women and those who have been abused. I hope that you will consider to attend. My other project is something that I really take very close at heart. As many of you may know, our Lieutenant Governor has introduced a bill into the Senate, Senate Bill number 6, the bathroom bill. I have composed a petition, which I have been circulating. So far, I have over 300 signatures. I'm hoping to get more. My goal and aim is to go up to the Capitol on the 6th of March and show how many signatures I got. Most of the people that I have spoken with have said, what a stupid bill. It's so idiotic. But again, this is something that I feel very strong about. The other thing I've been very involved with is my own personal thing. I'm trying to get my damn child support stuff. I'm still paying it. DFAS is taking it out. CSCD is refunding it. It's a vicious circle. My ex, back before Christmas, sent me an email, and she wants $1,200 a month for me to keep paying for my kids. Naturally, my response is nuts. You ain't getting it. But the only way for me to try to get her off my back and to stop that is to get a court order. Court order, which I sent back in December. Then when it was first put in, it was not even entered into court records. My cover letter was, but the motion itself wasn't. My ex made a response to a motion that doesn't even exist. according to the court files. So I wrote another letter. They finally did put it into the court files, so I'm waiting. I've just completed a 3-year anniversary. I also serve Avon, and I write a bi-weekly newsletter. I came across something as I was putting my next newsletter together that I believe is about faith, hope, love, and determination. A wise woman is smart in all her ways. She rises early to take care of her family. She knows that her worth does not come from what she has to offer, but who she is. A wise woman heals the warning sign that life gives us. She happens to life, not allowing life to happen to her. She knows she is a woman with her own stance, not defined by life, but whatever comes her way. She's wise, smart, intelligent, and does not move in haste. She builds her house and ministers her man. Oh yeah, the wise woman, she wears many hats. She is loving, she is a mother, she is a sister, she is a daughter, she is a wife, and she's God's chosen vessel. She's a visionary. She brings life, she is nurturing, and she is zealous. But don't get her wrong, don't get it twisted. She's able to ride through life's storms and come out on top. She is extraordinary in all of her gifts. She rises above storms that you never knew that she had. She thrives beyond measure, and just when you think you've seen her at her best or worst, she looks to the hills from whence cometh her help. She knows that today is not her last day, and that the best day is still yet to come. A wise woman knows that she is not defined by her welfare, but by her victory. She realizes trials that come makes her strong. It's a part of the process in the Master's plan. So she is thankful for the experiences, some good, many painful, but all have come to shape and mold her into the wise woman that she has become to be. Ask me how I know this woman. I am who she has come to be.
Brian Gross.
I told the black fingernail story here.
Oh,